Thank you and welcome to the show this morning. The topic this morning is shelter for the homeless. And we're fortunate to have with us to talk about shelter for the homeless, Mr. JSettles and Mr. Carter Abels, both members of an organization called Ephesus House. And of course, Mr. Settles and Mr. Abels, let me welcome the two of you to the show this morning and to tell you how delighted we are to have the two of you with us this morning, and especially to talk about an issue that is very, very prevalent and very, very popular this morning, because we find that there are many situations where people are without housing. And I think that your organization is involved in dealing with housing for the various groups. So let's start off, Mr. Settles, by having you give us some information in reference to your background, your education, and some of your experiences. And of course, Mr. Abels will do the same thing. And then after this first segment of 6 minutes, then we'll get back, we'll have our first commercial break, and then we'll come back for our second segment, and then we'll talk about other things. And by that time, we should have a fairly good idea in terms of some of the challenges that are faced by individuals who are seeking housing. So let's start off with you, Mr. Settles, by giving us some information in reference to your background, your education, and some of your experiences.
Well, I'm James Settles, and thank you for the opportunity to be here. Part of my background is I remember going to prison myself back in '86, and also getting out of prison in '93 actually. And it was from there I remember starting a home called Ephesus House in '03. And part of that was because I went to prison and battled with a drug addiction and all of that. And as I came into a personal relationship with God, He began to show me how to do this thing the correct way. And I'm under the old school: to whom much is given, I believe much is required. So that's how Ephesus House was actually formed, to reach back and help others the way people help me.
Very good. Mr. Carter Abel, what about your situation?
Sure. So my name's Carter Abel. I grew up in Northeast Arkansas in a pretty rural community. Moved to Nashville in 2009, and moving to Nashville was really the first experience first time I'd ever encountered anything resembling homelessness, and it was mind-blowing to me. And so I got connected in the nonprofit community here, got connected to James and Ephesus House through a former professor, and just love being able to contribute to the housing conversation and giving guys a chance to turn their lives around and get a new start.
Mr. Settles, in terms of talking about shelter for the homeless and various other groups, what are some of the groups that you would identify as your target area in terms of individuals who come to you, and where do they come to, and how do you meet them when they get there? And so we've got about 2 minutes before this segment ends. Let's give us that kind of information.
Well, we actually put an emphasis on men that are coming out of incarceration and men that are homeless, that battle with substance abuse issues, and which both of those issues I battled with at one time. And that's what I mean when I say He delivered me. I remember going into treatment several times, but it was really coming into a personal relationship with Jesus that things got better.
And so in a real sense, you're using your own personal experiences to reach out to others. How long have you been working in this area? I mean, this organization, how is this a relatively new organization or what?
Ephesus House was started in '03, and we now have 4 facilities, where one of them we use for actually staff, and the other 3 places we house men. We can house up to 28 at any one time.
And so you've got a very, very viable organization, and you're able to reach out to a large number of, especially incarcerated individuals coming out of the system who might need some kind of housing, et cetera. And so what we'll do, we'll take our first commercial break, and then Mr.